we're number 2 in a row for the day.
Number 2 of a rack and stack is always good because we know that we're heading toward home base, Randy.
That's it. Does not get any better, does it?
You know what? It really doesn't. And I got to tell you that our guest today that we're doing for number 2 here is just an amazing guy. We've been talking to him, for years, through the whole COVID situation that, where we all met. And I got to tell you, they don't come any better than Justin. So
they do not. They do not come any better. It's awesome. And what's really funny about it is it's so applicable to what we talk about a lot is, and the value of networking and the value of being out there is, this is the first time for me anyway, I don't know about you, Wes, that I've actually been virtual face-to-face with Justin, even though I feel like I've known him for years, right? Because we share each other's stuff back and forth and we communicate, but yet, it's always fun when I love to meet people. Number 2, I love to meet them virtually. And I really love when I get an opportunity to meet people face-to-face that we've met, virtually. I'm actually, I'm doing now, I'll say it doesn't matter. I'm meeting JR in person in Charlotte.
Awesome.
And we're gonna have some grub. So I don't know what they call it in Charlotte. I call it grub. But
I have got to have a bro hug with his friend and fellow business partner Russell Brunson.
Yep.
Sit in a room and have Russell give me a little 15-person fireside chat about marketing. But no, I've not got to meet Justin in person. But because of the way that things are, the internet makes everything small, Randy.
It does.
So I feel like I know him.
Exactly. We do. So let's just
know him, but what I'm saying is I feel like I already have met him.
Exactly. And with that, let's just go bring him on.
Let's just go to Justin.
Let's get done with this. Come on. Right. I just wish I had my hat. I wish I had my Indiana Jones hat. That's all I wish.
That's right, Indiana Jones. How you been? It's good to see you. It feels like you said we've known each other forever, but it's been online when this whole world got started at the beginning of 2020.
It has been, and isn't that amazing? And we talk about this off air, brother. And you find silver linings and things, right? That whole world of the lockdown world, and regardless of what side of the fence you fall on as to what should or shouldn't have happened, the fact is it did. And as tough and challenging as it was, you had 2 choices. Survive and come out of it better, or not. And I think a lot of us have found out ways to use that to our advantage and learn things. I would not have done a podcast before that. I don't know if I ever would have. I don't know if I'd have done a lot of stuff that I do today if I wasn't, I don't want to say forced into it, but I knew there had to be a better way to be out there when you can't be out there, right? And so anyways, for what you said, it's great to actually be chatting with you on air and in person, so to speak, right?
It's so fun to see people that you got to know over the years, 4.5 years now. Then when you get to meet them like this, which is virtually, which is the cool thing with Zoom, that we have these capabilities. But the cool thing is that when you do get to physically meet in the physical world and give a real hug, and it's like you've known each other your whole life. So it's I'm excited that we get a chance to talk, and congratulations on the success of your podcast. And I've been following you just like you've been following me, and I know we can talk about some good things to help those road warriors out there.
That's it.
Love to get into it.
You got it. Well, exactly. So thanks for coming on, man. And you've been one of those guys that you're one of those kind of guys that you got a personality that the first time I saw you, I go click I got to follow this dude, and it's been great. So tell us a little bit about we figured out years ago we're in the world as Waldo. Now we need to know who in the world is Justin Benton.
Well, that's funny because I actually have on my Instagram, which is @the_Justin_Benton. It is where in the world is Justin. And so when we got connected in the beginning of 2020, that's when this whole world opened up to me. Just like you, Randy, I was a belly-to-belly guy. I was going to conferences. I was hopping on planes. I was meeting people, pressing the flesh, doing the normal old school, way you did business. And then I remember flipping on Facebook, And I thought Facebook was for like high school acquaintances that you grew apart from, and it was like it meant nothing to me. I didn't even go on it. But for whatever reason that day, when everything was getting locked down, I looked and there was Jeffrey Gittimer live doing what we're doing right now, and I was like, "What in the world?" I had seen Jeffrey at a bunch of different seminars. I go, "What is Jeffrey doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And so then I started getting in the comments, and that's where we met, and Wes and Ken Walls, and then that was the beginning of my journey to understand that there's actually people, conducting business and building relationships online. So I joined Jeffrey Gittimer's mastermind with Joe Soto, and they had a cool mastermind for a few years. And because I was trying to figure this whole online world out, because I was like, just like you, Randy, I was miles after midnight. I was on the road. I was doing the thing. And this world opened up, especially when we had multiple stores in the health industry. We had to figure out when everything stopped, how are we going to generate revenue? Just like so many of us did. And so for me, it was like, we all knew the internet was coming. We all knew Amazon was going to take over eventually before 2020. But when that happened in 2020, it sped everything up. Amazon became, stock prices through the roof. Everybody, even your grandma, was shopping on Amazon. Groceries were being delivered to your front door. All of these things, we got conditioned. The average person in America was 17% of us back then were primarily shopping online, getting groceries delivered, using Uber Eats. After 2020, that number quadrupled, almost 70%. Now, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, are shopping first to the internet. Go to your normal shopping mall right now and go check it out. Even today. I mean, right now, yeah, we're in the holiday season, so there's a few more people out. But outside of the holiday season, it's a ghost town. And because now you have to figure out whatever you're selling, your wares or your blog or whatever your cause is, you've got to figure out this game just like you have. Doing a podcast, doing a show, explaining to the world your expertise, so those you can attract those that are looking for someone who can help them out with what you're notorious for, or help them out in Russell's world over here, as we call it, with secrets of success.
Right, exactly. Well said. And like you, it's funny. There's so many similarities. And I like the hybrid version of it because I was the very typical pound on the highway, airports, flights, 7 days a week, just about to run. Loved it. Got juiced over it, but then when you went to a complete opposite for a while, and I think that was good from my standpoint, that couldn't travel for a while. You even had customers didn't want you to come. We'll do it on the phone or we'll do it on whatever, but I don't want you coming to my office right now. And so it forced us, I think, to grasp on to technology, to grasp the social media, the podcasting, the doing shorts and the longs and doing the YouTube and doing all the stuff, right? And I think I immersed myself in 100% because I couldn't travel, right? But then there was an interesting concept that came into play for me, and I'd love to take your take on it, Justin, is there was like these two schools of thought. There was this, I'm never going to do any of this dumb stuff you're doing, Randy. I'm just going to wait till I go back on the road, whatever that is. And in the interim, I'm losing a year and a half of time being in front of your customer, right? You've lost all that personal connection you had. I didn't buy that. But then also the second school of thought came out that we'll never travel again. It's all going to be 100% virtual. Nobody's ever going to go see a customer. Nobody's ever going to shake hands and buy a brewski and a beer at night or any of that. I didn't buy that in general, and I certainly didn't buy it in my industry, which is very much a person-to-person industry. And so that led to my little thing of more of a hybrid version of you can work both at the same time. It's like all morning I worked on the phones, I worked on text, I worked on emails, taking care of customers, getting orders, getting samples out, doing that stuff. Then a couple of Zoom meetings I had with customers. Then boom, I do a rack and stack and podcast. Next week I'll be on the road all week, still doing videos from on site, doing videos with customers. So my point of all that, long way of getting to it, is I think if you can learn to hybrid those things into a very almost to where it becomes generic, what you do every day is, I'm going to be broadcasting here, I'm going to literally click off, and I'm going to go back to old school, right? And I think if you can do that, and you've done it so well, that I think that's how we win in today's world, I guess is my point.
Absolutely. And you leverage it with the technology that's come out. Like right now, we're using StreamYard. So there's a platform right now that we're recording on that's allowing us to put it in 8 different places at once. And, even Instagram, YouTube, so you can broadcast it and be omnipresent. But there's also other tools right now that this is what's gotten me excited. And I want to help your audience advance as fast as I can. Is there is this live social selling. Now, I know we both know Debbie Bettendorf, and she's launched her 11 Studios clothing line. And I was watching Gary Vee the other day, and I don't follow Gary Vee too close, even though I grew up back east and I'm a big New York Mets fan. He's just kind of like, I don't know, just you always got to find someone that is, that you're in line with. But Gary has always been a great, almost a prognosticator of things to come. He called podcasts before anyone else.
Right.
He can see the future. And he is saying that the thing that's going to happen in 2025, as I know we're winding down 2024 here, is it's going to be live social selling. And Debbie's doing it. She was doing it yesterday. She uses a technology, I believe it's called Comment Sold or Sold Comment. And basically what happens is she can go through and show products online, live streaming on Instagram, on Facebook. And all they have to do is type sold. And then if it's like item 101 or she'll go to the next thing's a purse, item 102, it'll immediately in her Instagram or Facebook show an invoice that will show up in your messenger. And you can buy it with a click of a button, just like Amazon.
Wow.
So again, this is the world that we live in. Hey, you can fight it all you want. And I'm helping my mom write a book and trying to show her the technology. She's been working on it for 2 years, and I published a book in 1 week. But beside the point is, you can fight it all you want. You can wait for it to be the way you wanted it to be, but it's not changing. Technology's here. Tools like AI is speeding everything up. If you have a calling, if you are great at what you do, if you want to provide for your family, I encourage you to go down these rabbit holes, because right now there is absolutely no excuse for you to be able to accomplish whatever it is you want in your life, in your business. Because literally you can go to tools like ChatGPT and just start having a conversation with it, and it will give you the steps to do it. I mean, I use ChatGPT every day. I use it so much I had to name it. I said, hey, man, I got to give you a name, bro. Like, I called it Virtual Buddy, because it's, again, these tools are here. And I have tools like InVideo AI that would take this conversation we're having right now and immediately insert B-roll that I could, and cut it into shorts and put it everywhere. So the hard thing to do is what we're doing right now. We're creating content. And now there's AI tools out there that will chop this content up and get it out to the masses. Because if you're great at what you do and you want to get your message out, or you want to let the world know that I'm number one in my category, these are the steps that you have to take. And there's no easier time to do it than it is right now.
Oh, it's so well said. And, I've often said, Justin, that I did a talk at a show a while back, a few months ago, and I said, you think about it. You don't have to like social media. You don't have to like virtual. But if 10, 15 years ago, 20 years, if you didn't have a website, you didn't exist. If you don't have a social media presence, if you don't make yourself and put yourself out there, you are just not going to exist to a large percentage of people. And I feel like I can justify in saying that, because I'm way older than you. I'm way older than I look, because I'm 87, but no, I'm just kidding. But and I get it. So if I get it I'm not 30, okay? I'm not 25, I'm not 40. So if I get it, you can get it. And you got to understand, you don't have to like it. You can hate it. You can disagree with it. I would suggest you learn to love it. But either way, you better, as you just said, you better get into it. You better grasp it, and you better do it. It's just like you mentioned AI. So many people are scared to death of AI. I'm not scared to death of it all. What I'm scared to death of, I'm not scared to death, is that I'm not going to learn it fast enough. Right? I mean, I think it's that important. And you're right. I should name GTP too. Whew, GPT. Wow, that's easy to say. I should name mine too, because I use it all day long, all the time. Yep. It's
how much
a great
more productive
story.
have you gotten?
Oh.
And like business plans. Like, even I'm posting YouTube videos, and I have a VA, which was another thing I learned from Joe Soto. Is you can go to the ChatGPT or whatever AI you like, and you say, hey, I just did a video on this. Sometimes you can upload the transcript and say, I need the description for this, the title, the tags, everything. And then you can pass it off to your virtual assistant or your producer or whoever does the things for you. And I mean, that's what I mean. There's no excuse. If you want to be found on YouTube videos, if you want to be found on Google searches, the keys are there. We learned this from Joe Soto, in the mastermind, that he would come on a lot with Jeffrey. And now I've grown that into a partnership with Russell Brunson and Secrets of Success, which is about mindset. But again, it's all there for the taking. And if there's anything I can do to help you, there's me right there. And we were down that's out in Boise, Idaho. Early in the morning, Russell's like, hey, do you want to record a thing? I'm like, sure, man. Because he's always flying by the seat of his pants. But anyways, so Secrets of Success, quickly to kind of pivot, is it's all about mindset. And I know we were talking about Earl Nightingale. He has a radio program back in the day, a radio program called Our Changing World. And it was released one time on air, on radio, and then it sat in archives in the Nightingale Conant library. And so we struck a deal with them, Russell and myself. And why I'm wearing this Indiana Jones hat, if you're seeing this on video, is because I'm kind of like the Indiana Jones of personal development, because I'm always hopping on planes and going out there and finding these incredible treasures and artifacts. And so we struck a deal with the Earl Nightingale Conant Corporation, and we're able to exclusively bring unpublished content, never before seen content from not only Earl Nightingale, but he had a window or Nightingale Conant had a window from 1950 to 2000, that everything that you listen to audio for as far as personal development or success was all through Nightingale Conant. And we have the entire library licensed. And I know that you have a special place in your heart for Earl Nightingale, and we have a challenge that we did with the Nightingale Foundation. So there's all kinds of cool stuff. And I know you're going to have a link for them to get signed up for a Think and Grow Rich challenge that we have coming up on Wednesday coming up. And so make sure that you go to, do we have that URL? I think it's Building Wins Live.
BuildingWins.live/success. Yes.
So on that one, we have the actual the grandson of Napoleon Hill, Dr. J.B. Hill. He speaks at it. Don Green, who I'm sure you guys know, the head of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, he speaks at it. Of course, Russell, Tom Bilyeu, Dean Graziosi, a lot of really big names. And we really deep dive on the book, Think and Grow Rich, as well. So if you want to go check out that free challenge for 3 days and really master your mindset, because look, the technology is here. Anyone can do it. You can go to ChatGPT, you can get a free account, you can ask it, how do I do whatever it is that you want to do, post YouTube videos, whatever it is, or how do I build a business that does this? How do I make $30,000 today? Whatever it is and the more you tell it about yourself and your business, the more ideas it will percolate and it will give you. And then now it's telling you the steps. So literally now is the time where the only thing that's limiting you is your mindset. You can do anything you want. And that's what Secrets of Success is. That's what the book and the challenge Think and Grow Rich is about. It's how do I think like a 7-year-old? When you were 7 and they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you said astronaut, president. For me, it was third base for the New York Mets, which now is a softball team. But you know what? We didn't have limitations back then.
Right.
We just thought and did. But life beat us down. We got conditioned to believe that we couldn't do this or we couldn't do that. And now it's time to focus on our mindset. Because if you got this mindset that you don't look at it as a challenge as, oh man, I hate when these hard things happen. You look at it as, I have crushed every challenge I've ever been through in my life. Bring it on. I'm just going to become stronger and better. Bring on, let's see what you got, because I'm here to dominate. And again, these are mindset principles, and there's obviously to talk about goals and burning desires. But I don't want to steal too much thunder. Just head on over to the website there, buildingwins.live/success. Sign up for the Think and Grow Rich Challenge and see for yourself what all this hubbub's about.
Exactly. And I'd recommend anybody does that because, we've all known or known of, I should say, Dr. Hill. And, man, what he brings to the table, the Earl Nightingale, what he brings to the table. And, you mentioned the Nightingale Conant. I remember the first cassette set that I got from the Nightingale Conant. This goes along a lot of years ago. I ordered it, and whatever the cost was, I remember I didn't really probably have the money to spend on that, but I did because I knew there was something else out there and I wanted to learn. I wanted to get better. And I remember when that came and I opened that big plastic case up, right, with the picture of Earl all over the front. And it was like, it was one of the most exciting. I still remember it was so exciting, and I couldn't wait to plug that in my player, which I did, and then immediately had to get the pencil out to fix it because it's the first stupid thing. It was I had tape all over the place and figured I just destroyed Earl, right? But I still remember that day. But you're so right, Justin, and I love you sell it so well. Your mindset is everything, and your attitude is everything. This idea of so many people look at things as the first thought is, well, I can't do that, as opposed to changing that around just a little bit and go, why can't I? Why can't I? I think I can. I know I can, right? And just dive in. And with the tools we have today, like you said, you got this idea, and it's amazing to me with the Chat GPT. The other day, a group that I belong to, somebody came up with this idea. They come up with this. It asked it to do it in a South Park style roast. And using what you know about me, do a post in a South Park kind of a roast. And Justin, so amazing in a South Park way, but the stuff it knew about me, it was just absolutely mind-boggling. And it all came from either stuff that I've posted, right? Stuff that I've asked it, things that I put in there. So I think you're 100% right. The more stuff you can put in there every day, the more it gets to know you, right? And it can give you stuff based on Randy, not what Justin thinks, right? It's based on how I think, and I think it's an incredible tool. If you don't use it, you're gonna fall behind very quickly. In it don't matter what field it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, think about it as like you had to go to masterminds. You had to join clubs, country clubs. You had to go to conferences. You had to fight and go to the lobby, go to the bar, go to the restaurants, to have these conversations, to unlock these business plans, these secrets, these insights. And now you've got a tool out there that I'm telling you, like, I learn stuff every single day. My wife was looking at a home that she wants to turn into a business. And it's kind of like an Airbnb thing, but more kind of a holistic thing. And she had all of these ideas, and I just threw it right in the Chat GPT, threw it back at her, gave everything that she needed to get, all the insurance, the percentages of the profit revenue. I mean, it's just an absolutely crazy time. And yes, you can be terrified of it and like, oh, don't give it too much. Look, at the end of the day, get over yourself. You're not that interesting. Of course, don't just pop in like your social security numbers or checking accounts or anything like that,
right.
Whatever. But at the end of the day, if you want to, let's just say, make more money, this tool has access. What it does is it crunches all the data that's out there. So instead of you going on Google and spending 45 minutes going down a rabbit hole, or 3 days going down a rabbit hole, clicking on, blogs or ads or things to find the thing. And one of my favorite things is that you can just ask it, like, what are the best tools? What are the best tools to do this? And you can say, what are the best free tools to do this? Like I was doing some recording on the beach for a YouTube channel that I just launched, which it helped me launch. And I said, what's the best teleprompter? And so it gave me a list of 5. I picked the second one, and I used it to record on a teleprompter on my phone on the beach. And that process could have taken me 3 weeks
right.
to actually go down and do tests and try and all those kinds of things. But now it's giving you the insights, and you can tell it, give me a comparison chart, and it'll give you the 5 different companies, and it'll give you the strengths and the weaknesses of each of them. I did that for the live social selling. Again, I'm just telling you, it's like when the internet happened, you could have like turned your back on it. I'm sure there's people that when they saw that first car with, around the Henry Ford days, were like, I'll stick to my horses. And hey, man, do what you do. But at the end of the day, if you're in business, if you're using Chat GPT, great. So is everyone else. So now you have to step up your game and use it faster and leverage the tools and apply yourself and make sure your teams are doing it. If you're not using Chat GPT, if you're not using AI, if you're not using these tools, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm sure there's like 1 business or 2 businesses out there that can get by. But look, there were monster companies like, Eastern Airlines. You look at all of the companies. Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix for $60 million. I mean, dinosaurs used to run this place. And so at the end of the day, if you're not going to adopt the technology that's here, then hopefully you've got your retirement plan set up, and maybe that's your plan. Go play some golf in Florida, and that's all good in the hood. But if you're here to make money, if you're here to make an impact in the world, it's time to embrace this technology. And I hope some of the nuggets we dropped today can help you out.
Well, exactly. And you know, as you're talking, Justin, one of the things that made me think is things are spinning so quickly and compounding so fast, right? We all know how compounding works, right? That you don't set back and go, let me see how this plays out for another year, because whatever we think we know today is going to be zero to what we learn a year from now, right? And you can't learn advanced algebra if you never had basic math, right? So I was saying is, when I'm looking to write an article and I'm like behind the times, right? And I'm not ready. I've had where you get that block, right? I don't know what I want to write about, so I'll just stick in there and go, give me 15 subjects to write about for the metal roofing industry. I want to touch on some. I'll give it stuff, whatever that prompts are, right?
Yeah.
And it's like before I get the words out of my mouth and hit the button, it almost starts before I hit the button. It's so smart, right?
Yeah.
And all it does is it gives me this, and I go through, nope, absolutely not. No, no interest. Maybe. Oh yeah, that's the one, right?
Exactly.
And I could have spent another hour or two scratching my head, starting to type and going, I don't want to write about that.
And
you know,
the thing too, it's not just about the time. The way that I look at it, and time is the most precious commodity, but kind of that goes along with it is the energy. How much you can burn 50% of the calories that you burn in a day with your brain. Look it up. And so think of the amount of not only time and the frustration and the energy and the drain that it could be to come up with the right thing and write it versus say, hey, give me 15 ideas on this subject, right?
Yep.
And boom, there you got it. And it's just absolutely amazing. And you got to embrace it because it's here. You ain't going to stop it. You're not stopping it. It's like when they invented the fire, like you can be like, I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of hot and warm. I don't really like that. Yeah, well, yeah, but you can, and like you said with Henry Ford, think of the people that first thought the Wright brothers. You know, there are people going, you guys need to be put in a home. I mean, you're nuts. That ain't gonna happen. And now we we send little messenger things to run around Mars, right? I mean, it's like, come on, you're gonna. And the thing that I wanted to go back on it because I mentioned it earlier, and it's so accurate, is every day you wait, you're getting further and further behind because it's compounding. That's the way that works, right? You're building upon what you already know. And if you don't get started, wherever you're at now, you got to start. And the beautiful thing is, or the interesting thing with that I've got to get better with AI is prompts, right? It's prompts are important. You got to give it the right prompts. You got to ask it the right stuff. But I've even found sometimes I've actually I'm going to name mine because I'm getting tired. I'm going to name it something. I might name it Charlie. I don't know.
And you can
Charlie
ask it about prompts. Say, hey, give me some good prompts that I should ask you. So prompt it about prompts.
Exactly. I was going to say that's what I did the other day. Is I couldn't get what I wanted exactly, and I realized it was me, not it, not Charlie. So what I did is I said, give me some good prompts to get the following information. And then it gave me this thing. So I retyped it in, and it was like spitting it out like crazy. It was like, and so I asked it to tell me what to ask it. Right? Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's absolutely mind blowing because I was around when the internet was first found out. I was around when the iPhone came out. There was these technology moments, you know what I mean? And I was around in 8-tracks and then went to cassettes and then CDs and then MP3s, and none of those were cool. I remember the first time I saw an MP3 player was even before Jobs, and I was like, whoa, that was about late 1990s. Right. That was like really cool. But when the iPhone came out in 2007, I believe, and YouTube came out a few years prior, I mean, these were watershed. I actually knew that something like the iPhone was going to come out. I could just kind of see the future. I was like, look, I'm not going to buy a digital phone. They're going to have a digital cameras. I mean, just trust me, it's coming. And it did. And Steve Jobs nailed it. And it changed our lives forever with the smartphones, walking around, doing all the business that we do on the roads and the road warriors. And just like, Google changed the game, Facebook changed the game. This AI is a game changer. It's an absolute watershed. There was going to be a time before AI and a time after AI, for better or worse. It's just a tool like fire. It can be good to keep you warm. It can be bad to burn things down. but you're the person who uses the tool is the one who gets to choose to use it for good or bad. And if you want to make an impact in this world, or you want to make an impact on your bottom line, you've got to try it out and let go of the reservations or whatever the fear media is out there to get you to drive a click. Let it go. Take it from Randy and your Uncle Justin here. Go dive in, play around. There's free versions of it.
Yep.
And you can thank us later in 5 years when you're living up in the hills in some beautiful home because you asked it a couple of things and it gave you some plans and you took action.
Exactly. Well said, my brother. Well said. So what, as we kind of move on out of here, because you have been so kind with your time, a QA, a seldom asked question. An SAQ. Wes Rice puts it up because he remembers that I don't remember. What is the one thing, Justin, when you're out there wandering around in your travels that you just wish people would ask you, but they never do, and you have to either bring it up or it just never gets asked? What's the one thing that you just wish, God, I wish everybody'd ask me?
Well, again, for me, it comes down to mindset, and it's like the movie City Slickers,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that one thing. And for me, it's mindset. And like we talked about earlier, we live in a time right now in 2024 that you can ask a machine how to do anything that you want to do. And when it comes back with the detailed plans of how to do it, now the ball is in your court. And there's this thing called resistance. And Steve Pressfield talks about The Art of War. And basically you have this mind that's telling you these, whether it's insecurities or conditioning, that's telling you, no, I can, or someone else probably tried it, or I failed before, I'll fail again. That is all conscious BS. What you need to do to work on your mindset is to work on programming your subconscious. Now, as road warriors watching this or listening to this, that's how stories work. If you tell somebody, they doubt it. If they come up with the idea, they believe it. That's the good old Tom Hopkins rule.
Mm-hmm, right.
It's the same with telling a story. If you tell a story, you can bypass the conscious and get back into the subconscious and get someone to think it was their idea to buy the thing that you're selling. Well, you're selling yourself here on how to get your mindset right. And you need to go and invest in these stories, these people. That's what secretsofsuccess.com/JV is about. It's actually an affiliate program that will allow you to make money while you learn. There's a 40% commission on it as well. But I'm telling you, like we talked about before, everything, technology is here. Randy, you're a trooper out there. You've got a few years on me, but here you are. You're live and omnipresent. You took action. You're using AI. You've got a producer that's making it happen. And you're not, it's the old who, not how thing, right? That's the book from, what's his name? Dr. Who is it? Who, not how. I forget his name. Anyway, he did Hardy, Ben Hardy.
Hardy.
And it's not, you don't have to do the work. I don't have to do the work anymore. Find someone who's either incredible at what they do, like Wes is here for putting on, productions, or find a technology or software that can do it for you. So again, my one thing, the one question that I would hope everybody understands is get your mind right, because now we've got all the tools to do whatever it is you want. And if the only limitation now is the 6 inches between your ear from where you are right now to where you want to be in a year from now.
Yeah. Well said, my brother. Well said. I appreciate you being on, man. I appreciate it, and appreciate the friendship and the brotherhood, and we'll just keep doing our stuff together, man. And one of these days we're going to meet up in person.
Amen. Anytime you're out here in Southern California, look me up.
I will do it. I get out there from time to time, and when I do, I'll come. I'm going to come see you.
Do it. I'm Ventura Beach, right here. The
perfect.
Waves are about 50 feet away.
All right. Well, if you get down to Southern Florida, Southwest Florida, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here waiting for you. All right, brother. All right. Thank you, my friend. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right. Man, was that good stuff or what, folks? Justin is, as we said, I'm going to make this short and sweet. Network. I know Justin Benton now because of networking, because of being out there and putting yourself out there. And he's somebody that, while we've never actually met in person, and we will, I consider him a good friend and somebody that I trust and listen to. And there's so many people out there if you just put yourself out there. Listen on the AI. I know, take it from an old guy that probably was as resistant to that kind of stuff as anybody at one time. You got to do it. You got to experiment. It's not that scary. It's actually kind of fun once you get going. So other than that, remember, I'm doing it right now. And I want you to remember this. There's 3 things to remember. Love what you do and do what you love. That's what I'm doing right now. We get one go around, at least here on planet Earth. So live it, love it, own it, and go make today your best day ever. Until tomorrow, let's go.